Man, that song makes me feel like I'm moonwalking, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lover Show, baby. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate you for being here, getting me through the hardest times of my life and the funnest times of my life. Let's not always talk about the downs. Let's also talk about the ups. Let's break it down. Let's talk about BTC. Let's get the screen on. There's been many days. Remember where you guys have been screaming, put the screen on, Sam. And I've been messing up. Those days are over. Shout out to everybody here. We got a live trade cooking on WEEX that we just flipped out to the trading group. This looks like a slanted head and shoulder. Looks like rolling over. It kind of looks like a complex head and shoulder. Look at this. Shoulder, shoulder, monster head, shoulder, shoulder. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just looks like an overall dumpage to me, back down to 60,000. I could be wrong. Maybe we reverse in a second. The charts have been very sketchy on the small time frames. I'm a hero to go at the 1 minute. I usually have been staying away from it and trading like the 1 hour or the 4 hour, but we'll see what happens as I venture out into a bit of a leveraged day trade here. We'll see what happens. All right. 23x, 778, not too big, 0.28. Nothing fancy. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. We'll see where we go. Let's break down what happens to BTC. Humanity with an issue, right? They had some exploit. Someone lost their private keys or was, you know what I mean? Someone was basically taken for their private keys, or they didn't know someone had access. You know what I mean? Something like that's the story. And man, gone. It's crazy. Thing was on a massive run too. Still didn't go lower than where it was here if you got in early, which is crazy that it survived that. And some people, you know, the crazy thing about crypto, people like trade hack coins. They'll be like, oh, let's get in. Sounds like a good deal now. You know what I mean? Like I want to get in on that right now. I'm like Luna, see all the big runs of, man, we've seen like damaged projects turn into some of the biggest pumps we've ever seen. It's kind of crazy. Only in crypto. Only in crypto. Let's start off with our top-down Bitcoin with the dumpage down the flag here. And so I was looking at Bitcoin. I said, that's a bear flag. It's bearishly retesting. I said, that thing's going down. And, you know, I read it. I read that right. It's like a defensive man looking at the offense, and you're like, you know what? They're throwing to the left, man. I'm going to go pick this thing right off and just boom, pick six all day long, and you run with it, right? That's how you feel when you make that call. It just starts to dump. Look at the dumpage to the downside. Let's see what we can get, lifers. Let's see if this continues further. We can kind of start to shave a little bit of the price action. I'd like to, bring my stop down to that right shoulder there. I want to get to that right shoulder eventually. Starting off with a trade as we begin this morning. God bless everybody here. We've been kicking it in the trading group since 7:30, giving gratitude. First thing in the trading group is gratitude. Second thing is the Bitcoin update. And, you know, just a chart for Bitcoin, something that's going on that I see for Bitcoin. I was bearish at the beginning of the morning. First thing I saw was a head and shoulder on the 1 hour time frame. We're going to get to the bigger picture and show you what I'm talking about. And you're going to see exactly what I'm seeing. And likely we'll see eye to eye here. But, you know, you never know. God bless the lifers. God bless everyone. God bless the world. And, you know, shout out to everybody here. Let's take a look. Taking a beat down, up 11%. Let's see. And you can make money short or long. That's what I want to prove to you. It doesn't matter which way it's going. And that's, you know, and again, I trade this as, look, that's a shoulder, head, right shoulder. It does have a measured move. You take the slant, you know what I mean? It should go somewhere to 61.5. That may be all we get. We may reverse this. We never know what this is going to do. All right, but right now we're getting a pretty good free fall here to the downside for BTC. And if you're in my trading group, you're going to get these type of updates, these type of right here, like a signal. Shows you where I'm in, where the stop loss is, and where I'm going. Green, middle red, right? And BTC. Right in your pocket, ready to see. And then even just what I drew here on, man, hit the exact, that's a bear flag to the downside. Nice little sell-off. Bitcoin. Also, BOOKMAP. Signs of a fat jar of liquidity below us too as well. Pushing off that 61.8. But when I like really, when I go in and look, I mean, we got this ball right there at 61,000. It's big and red. It's telling me that's where we're likely going to go for now. And then we'll see what happens. So 61,000 is calling our name. Bitcoin so far in a bit of a free fall to the downside as we started the stream. Right? You know what I mean? And right before the stream started, sorry I was about a minute late there because I was like sitting there and I was like, man, I think I got to make a trade. I was like, but I got to start the stream. I was like, but I got to make a trade, but I got to start the stream. I was like, man, you might have to be a minute late to actually open up a trade because you see something there. So that's what I had. Some days I have to do, 1 out of 30 times. I think, maybe 10, 20 times a year I have to do that. Other times I just open up, we're ready to rock. But you just never know what you're going to see, what's going to happen here. We could get a V-shaped recovery right back to the upside. We'll see. Fighting right now, though. Seems like the momentum is to the downside for BTC. This kind of rolling, how it's rolling over here. I can kind of move that stop to the next key area. Now I'm shaving some risk here. I am getting closer to the bone. I get it, but I'm shaving some risk. Would like to get it to break even as soon as possible. Now it's close. We get one more jettison move down. Boom. 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 Just goes blah. All of a sudden the candle just blah. You know what I mean? Someone puts that big buy order in on the lows. Institutions wanting those nice juicy prices near 60K. Blah. Send it to the downside. Let's see if we can get that move further down, baby, for BTC. Come on. Show me what you're made of, son. Show me what you got over here. No, but come on. Send it down. And again, that's a nice little scalp to start kind of the week. I haven't been scalping much lately. So that's, since the weekend, we got a beautiful pump of the weekend. We made that beautiful call on the daily. There we go. Send it down a little bit. Send it down. Get a nice big candle close. We have 3 minutes. Trading the 5 minute has been my thing recently. Thought I was on the 1 minute for a second, realized I'm on the 5, but I've been on the 5. I've been just trading the 5 a little more exclusively lately. Just found myself on it, stayed on it, and been staying on it for a while. The 5, baby, the 5. I like the 5 minute chart. A little more robust than 1 minute, a little slower, right? If you've been trading the 1 minute for a long time, the 5 minute feels kind of like paint drying, Slow as molasses. You know what I mean? Slow as molasses over here. Guy talked about a 5 minute Johnny acts like it's slow over here. My goodness. Get him a cannoli. Hey, don't be disrespectful. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in and being a part of the crypto or just trading in general. Let's talk about kind of the overall trading, field. We're going to look at the NASDAQ and the S&P here too. As Bitcoin kind of flop and gropes here on the 5 minute chart. May not be, they may come get me. You never know. This could be a round tripper. I'm not. Tuesday's feeling like a false move Monday today. Price action battling this key area, 61.8. You can see there just seems to be like a struggle for Bitcoin to get up even $2 to $3. It's like a $20 battle here. Look at this. Not in love when it wicks like that. That, you know what I mean? We got to come back. Crazy candle. Wow, what a battle right here. It's funny, you never realize how, annoying price action is until you're in those small time frame trades and you're like, come on, just make them, you know what I mean? That's when you just got to back away, let it go. Let whatever you figured out go, Let's this is managing. I'm live trade. This is managing. You're live trading, you're managing, Live on week. Shout out to anyone else. If you want to jump on in, God bless you. And if you want to learn how to trade, go to CryptoWifer.com. I'm going to teach you an amazing strategy that you can have for the rest of your life. And for the rest of your life, you'll be like, you know what, CryptoWifer? So many people reached out to me and said, Sam, thank you so much for what you've done. Thank you so much for what you've taught me. And I said, you know what, God bless you. That's very nice of you to say. And so I continue to get these beautiful testimonials and compliments, and just the people I meet in real life. Like, I meet the people in real life and they're just like, thank you. And I say, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone could ever say. I have the best life because of the people I meet through who I've taught. And they're so nice to me. And I see people actually accomplishing things too with what I've taught them, which to me is even more amazing. It means that, like, God put some light in me that is going through the world, and it's actually helping people and changing their lives. So opportunities abound. It seems like wherever I go, whether people, somewhat copy what I do, which is great. It's the greatest people were copied. Whether people learn from me, whether people just figure out things, whatever happens in life. And if people even just come to my trading group and get it in, people that figure out all sorts of, some people have a trading style and then they learn something I add to it. And they still trade their own way, but something that I teach them just completes the journey. And I've just gotten so many testimonials, and I want to say thank you to everybody. And may God bless the lifers. You people are amazing. All right. So let's see. We're battling this low here. A wick, kind of a fighting wick. Let's see what happens. If Bitcoin's going to get a flash back to the upside. Wow, yeah, it was definitely a rounded top, rounding over there. Looks bearish to me, like it may continue. Hit that 21, make a little bear flag on the one, and then continue to dump. Sam's a great trader, but he's also a great inspirational speaker and motivator. Keep going, Sam. Never stop. God bless you, super villain. You should write the crypto lifer into the movie. This guy, nah. I want my character in the movie. Always find opportunities to make someone smile and to offer random acts of kindness in everyday life. If you can, it's amazing. It'll change your life. One story, I think I've told it before, and I'm not trying to say I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's just a story, all right? But I'm walking to work. I get out of the train station, and I walk upstairs, and I'm walking by a bunch of people that are waiting for the bus, and the bus opens up, and a few people get off. And a blind guy gets off, and he's like, hello, I need to walk over to blah, blah, blah. I need to walk over to blah, blah, blah. And he just sits there, and people probably either don't hear him. Some people may hear him, but they're not, they don't know what to do. And I hear him, and, they say the name Samuel is the one who hears God, Samuel. I don't know, it's just the Hebrew, translation, whatever. So, I don't know, in my mind, I hear it, and it's almost like I'm there with myself and God. Like, I never feel like I'm truly alone, and God's like, you're going to let that blind man sit there alone? And I'm like, no way I'm going to let that blind man sit there alone. Like, would your other mother ever let you sit there alone? I was like, no, my mom was the best to me. I was like, so you go help that blind man, right? And so I go, and I'm like, hey, sir, where do you need to go? And like, I got you, buddy, And he puts his hand on me, and I walk him a couple blocks over. And, I don't know, actually pretty long, maybe like a 10-minute walk, because in Manhattan, this was long blocks sideways. But anyway, it was amazing. I think I was like slightly late to the next thing I had to do. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I figured it out. But, yeah, true story, man. And it was, I can tell it today. And again, I think maybe one other time, I can't remember, but I think one other time in Brooklyn, I was a blind dude. But yeah, twice in my life, I remember helping someone, like a random stranger who was blind that just needed help. That's the cool thing about living in New York City. There's millions of people, so you're going to bump into all these, you're going to have these situations around people. It's almost like you just learn so much about the human race living in New York City. After I lived in New York City for 19 years, about 20 years. So it changed my life forever. And shout out to all the people that live in New York City. Not saying, it's, it's an interesting experience. There's a bond there if you've lived in New York. So, yeah, see, to me, it looks like we're rolling over with high stochastics. It's like that old bear flag, the 21 on the other side of the 200 moving average above the 200. I'm just playing the same old story, right? I know I got a lot of lines. Apologize. I was drawing, me and my Picasso, But, we're at the end of the day, if you zoom out and really look at it, it's, we're below the 200. We're touching the 21. We're below the 200. We're touching the 21. Now we're starting to get a pretty good move to the downside. A little bit of divergence beginning Still have legs on the stochastics RSI to dump pretty nice, and you just keep, And again, people say, that's not a lot of money, Sam. It's 174. I say, yeah, but you know what? The risk is pretty crazy. You have to use 23X at $700. And Bitcoin's gone since our entry at 6. Bitcoin's gone, basically only Bitcoin's going down about $500. Which I usually use $500, but I would have had to raise the, wasn't feeling the, so I want to continue to move that stop. Now next, we get one more big dump down somewhere to here. If we, right there, I'm going to move that stop loss to that high volume node. We get past this node, it looks like we could that could be the next resistance too for us now. For Bitcoin. And then we keep looking at liquidity and just double checking what the liquidity is saying, right? And it's saying, hey, I mean, we want to come down and we want to dump. We want to dump to 61.3 right off the bat here. And then we want to go a little lower. We want to get into this big red zone here at 60,550. That's just what it's saying. I'm not, you know what I mean? So now we swing the stop loss to break even. You can't lose on the trade now. The only thing that can happen is you could round trip it, right? It doesn't have to be the first trade of the day. And see how, it's the 21 below the 200. That's the entry when you're bullish. That's the entry when you're bearish. It's the same strategy over and over again. I know it's boring, folks, but you know what? Boring pays. At the end of the day, when it comes to trading, that's what I had to come to terms with too. That boring just pays. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, baby. It is what it is. Boring pays. So, and you find your way no matter what. Up or down, down or up, right? So, funny, I was showing Ethereum, but it has the same liquidity. Got ETH over here. Oh no, ETH isn't as bad. Yeah. Yeah, ETH still wants lower though, like 1,400. And Bitcoin getting a massive sell-off here. Shout out to everyone that jumped on into the short. And let me jump on into the chat and crowd surf here. I feel like this is like crowd surfing, like jumping into the crowd and saying, hey, what's going on, everybody? Shout out to all my lifers. And who's in the gains right now? Who's in gains on a short? Who's in gains on a... Maybe they took a crazy long somehow. I don't know. My son was going for his bachelor's degree this year in New York. I'm so excited. God bless him, man. That was me, brother. Good morning, Sam. Hope you're having an amazing morning, brother. Can you take a look at Space chart? Clear and pattern on the 2 hour. Has a pattern already played out, or what are you seeing? Interesting. Thank you. Decades in this market is no joke. No. I've been trading Bitcoin and hanging out in Bitcoin for a long time. That could turn into an inverted head and shoulder. Could finally try to find a daily bottom, or, you know what I mean? It has the potential, the beginnings. Right now, it could still just be some type of bearish, maybe even a symmetrical triangle. And it may even just kind of roll over again. Lately, it seems like we're just kind of blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Thank you, Sammy. Trade on WEEX, my number one exchange. It is. It's the best exchange in the game. I'm telling you. Shout out to all my beautiful people. And if you want to jump on in, we make it very simple in the pinned comment. Trade on WEEX. Then go to CryptoWifer.com. Find out more about me. Hit the subscribe button after you've maybe read something, or you want, or you just want to jump on in. You don't have time. Most people probably do that. 99, do 70, or just jump on in for the year. Make it easy. Rip off the Band-Aid. And now you're in. Now you have to learn how to trade. This is like true commitment, but once you do that, you're in. Like, you can't stop now. It's kind of like a burn the boats type of thing. The cool thing about this is the perfect time. A lot of people enter the market. Let's go over BTC and the all-time history index. And look, I mean, this is the first thing I'm showing you this morning, right when we wake up. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's headed down to this big liquidity bar. It looks kind of what's going to happen. I mean, right? It all looks... This candle will close at 11, and then the next 11 to 12 looks like it's going to be a bearish hour. We could be wrong, but so far the charts told us exactly what's going on. Again, this is a descending triangle. Whenever you have a flat bottom, I mean, I'm telling you that these things drop straight down 90% of the time. 90%, it's a 90% accurate pattern. And there's usually a head and shoulder inside of the descending triangle. This is what I learned one day. It was an inverted head and shoulder. And I drew this line and I said, man, inverted head and shoulders are ascending triangles. There's a cup and handle right there. Like, I was like, there's 3 patterns in one. I used to show this to everybody. It really tripped me out, you know? And then if you flipped it upside down, it was a head and shoulder, right? It was simply just the same exact idea. It was a descending triangle, right? You know, not the best drawing, you know what I mean? But there you go. Like, and they would make the measured move from the head, you know? It was just mesmerizing how price action followed suit every single time. And Bitcoin rolling over here pretty nicely as kind of we're predicting here. Let's take a look. What you do is you keep drawing these descending triangles, and if it keeps wanting to meet, you know, you're not getting any, you got to get reversal patterns, right? And we could just come right down to the target would be nice, right? Send it. Send it to the trigger, baby. Send it to the trigger. Send it to the trigger. And now, remember, we're above. We can't lose the trade. We've protected the money now. Safest way to trade in the game. Most risky, you know, less risk. And this is how you use proper risk management and you know, and you go one step, one trade, one candle at a time. The portfolio, you know, people that actually grow portfolios do it little by little over time. And somehow, some way, they end up somewhere different. You know, some people rip it up huge, rip it down huge, rip it up. I mean, it's like a roller coaster ride for them. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. It never simply works out for me. It works out when I just simply chip away time and time again, stick to the script. It's not always the funnest. It's not always the sexiest way to trade, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. It becomes conform. It becomes uniform. It's like doing what you got to do. BTC, you know, could this be the bottom? Yeah, it's attempting a tiny little inverted head and shoulder there now. You could say shoulder head, a little bit of bull div, fighting its way, curving, you know what I mean? It's starting. It's like, all right, I've been dumping straight. It's attempting to stop the pain. It seems to be just some heavy sell pressure here today that's just flooding the price down. Yeah, it's funny. You take your eye off of Bitcoin, there's a massive green candle, and you're out the trade in 2 seconds. I've seen it. I've nursed a trade for hours that I've been kicked out of in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's just the price you pay, right? For a small time frame. You know, you got to know what field you're playing in. If you get a little money, you got to know that you're playing in the dirt. You know what I mean? People never realize the risk, too. Like, I always explain, you know, because everyone shrugs off the risk, and a lot of people take bigger trades without really, and we can all, like if I just went and watched all the leverage traders out there, and I didn't really, like, sit there with a calculator, and I was like, oh, wow, and I saw their gains, and I got it, you know what I mean? But if I paused the thing, used a calculator, and then looked like, wow, if they weren't right, what would have happened? How many times could you handle it if you weren't right? And is that something that's just, you know, and a lot of times I would find for me, for them it might be, and for you, you know, everyone's different, and that's another thing. For me, I'm like, dang, that's unsustainable for me. Like, I'm not that risk adverse. I'm not going to go that far. You see what I'm saying? Like I said yesterday too, I want this to become a secondary stream of income. I don't want this to become a pain in the butt. Trading should be something fun I can look back on and say, wow, thank you for the time I spent putting in. I'd like to get paid for the time I spent trading. You know what I mean? Regardless of what happens to my channel and everything else, I want to get paid for the actual trading. I'm here. I'm putting in the work. This is real money. This isn't some fake money. This is my real account. This is real life, you know? And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taken as such, right? You know, get yourself an advisor and, you know, do your own due diligence before you get into any project, coin, or trade, no matter what you're doing, you know? But look, another descending triangle, another 21 below the 200. It's just telling us that the trend is, and once you start using the 21, kind of, I've seen this in a bull, you start using the 21, and eventually this will fizzle out. We'll see, but you're feeling that pressure. Can we get to the target by the end of stream? It would be nice, right? Do we have to just take 2 on a move back up? We'll see. We'll see. I want to get to the top 10 analysis, but I'm like, I look away. I like this. Green candle to the top usually means you're going to wick down. And that usually creates a nice big red candle to the downside. So let's see. There we go. So far, so good for Bitcoin, or for the trade, not for, So far, so good for the Bitcoin bears. Again, we're going for this red. We got big red in our favor. So this is what I do here. I use liquidity as my sideline coach here. All right. And I also use patterns. Like pattern breaks down 68% of the time. So if I just use the pattern alone, no liquidity, it would tell me to be short. If I use the liquidity, no pattern, it would tell me to be short. If I use the moving averages, no pattern, no liquidity, it would tell me to be short. Right? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just using a collection of items that all kind of push me. But I also know that the day is still a volatile day. There's something in the air today. I'd be very careful. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, shoots right back to the upside. That's why I don't have a huge risk on the table. I'm just feeling out the market. Look, now we do have some bullish divergence. You're moving up on the RSI, down in price action, attempting to kind of stop this dumpage here. You need some divergence. You need some type of pattern, inverted head and shoulders, something. Otherwise, we'll continue to kind of, and you need to get back above that 21. Then you need to soar to the 200. Once you cross the 200, then I flip bullish, and then I would start to look for some type of bullish trades. That's when the trend can actually begin to change. This is what I do basically on a daily basis is I watch the bottom on the day. If I'm going to go long, I wait for us to cross. Some days right when I come here, we cross, and that does become the momentum. Then the 15, next thing you know, the daily has reversed. Then we're going to the upside. Let's see. We're starting to get inside of a tight range. For the last 5-6 minutes, we've been in between 61.5 and 61.375. Seems like we have to make sure 61.5 is now resistance, and then we can kind of dip. Momentum, to me, is still to the downside. We just made another lower high with the tweezer top, right? If you just look at the way that is, should create another red candle, followed by, kind of head and shouldery again, almost like an M pattern double top. That's looking to crush down to 60,800. Setting up pretty nice. We'll see. I feel like I take my eye off this thing and it's going to do something crazy, man. All right, so let's get back to the bigger time frame for Bitcoin and what I was going over here. But I mean, look at that beautiful head and shoulder. Bitcoin never doesn't lie. Lately, it's been trading beautifully. It trades the technicals just absolutely beautifully. You can even see here is a bit of a right shoulder, a bit of a head on the right shoulder. Here is that descending triangle as well. Like, it's all there. And, it double tops up here, kind of almost an Adam and Eve, a backwards Adam and Eve. It makes that move down, comes back for the retest of the neckline, makes a lower high. Right? Chugs along at the neckline, loses this chunk of liquidity, figure you go to, and then you can see, we're headed right there. Bang, that point of control is a magnet. But it's a magnet for price action. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the VRVP. If you're new to the channel, jump on in, hit indicators, go to VRVP, hit that. It's going to get added. It's going to be pink. They changed it. I don't know. They were feeling, I guess, a little different that day when they remade the indicator, if you know what I'm saying. But go to the inputs. This is the one. You go to this inputs and just add a 0 right there to the 24. So remember, what did I just do? I went to indicators. I typed in VRVP. I'll do that again. Let me do it one more time real slow. Hit the indicator bar. Go to VRVP. Click on it. When you click on it, it gets added to your chart. Hit this little gear in the middle. It's not there. You just have to kind of hover. Click on it. Go to inputs, which will already should be there. Don't be scared. And then yours is going to say 24. Literally click the box and click the 0 button and click OK. And you're going to have this beautiful indicator. Yours is just going to be pink. So there you go. That'll be on you. And yeah, but this will be nice for you, and you can use it to trade. And there's something called the POC on the VRVP, and it's called the point of control. And it's just where price action likes to settle. It's where price action likes to vibe. You know, and then you're also going to look at what are called high volume nodes. You're going to see that price action sticking out in key areas, right? And there we go. It looks, you know what I mean? So far, so good as we kind of slip out below, make another lower high with a bearish, I mean, that's engulfing. And we expect another engulfing candle here for this to kind of come on down to the target. Come on down, baby. Come on down. Yeah. And now you've got support or resistance there just made. You've lost 61.5 is now going to be a resistance area, which means, you know, every time I've seen us lose a 500, I've been testing this for a long time. You know what we get magnetized to is to the 800. So when you lose 61.5, I see us go to, you know, 60,800. When you lose, you know, 59.5, I saw us go to 58,800. I remember I started seeing this around 19,800. I always remember it. And then I saw us at 21.8, and then I saw us at like 24.8, and I said, guys, it's the 800s, man. And I started realizing that someone somehow out there, market maker, people, whatever it is, they got this obsession with the 800. And it kind of makes sense, I guess. You can't hit 750. You can't hit the 1,000 mark. You have only so many places to get most people out, you know. And so once you lose the half point, because, you know, people are still psychologically connected to that 500, 61.5 area, you know what I mean? They really want it bad. So, and there you go. There's just the patience, just, you know what I mean? We're just sitting here patiently waiting for it to do its thing. And there we have it, man. Shout out to everybody here. And again, that's why you join a Discord. Say you're working hard. You wake up at 5 a.m. Like I woke up, you know what I mean? And you're out there on construction. You're sitting there. And your mentor wakes up in the morning and he says, man, I see a head and shoulder. Looks like we're going to be dumping down to 60,800. Right? You put in a short here with a stop above this line. Let's just say, right? You know what I mean? Like you stop for a second. Go to the bathroom. You're literally in the outhouse. You're a construction worker, man. Put your little trade in, whatever you're going to risk. Boom, put it down. Put it in your pocket. Go back to work. All right? Maybe you check into the stream right now for a split second. You know, again, in the bath, whatever you can. You know, maybe you go into the little, like, whatever, the rec room, the little trailer. Maybe not. Maybe you don't have a chance. Or maybe you do, and you're like, oh, wow. Like, yep, everything's going well. You check in, hey, Sam, you might write something. It's awesome. Bang. And then, you know, we go, and then now you're like, okay. So the point is you can just follow along, and then maybe you get lunch. At lunch, the stream ends, and we may hit the target possibly, too. You see what I'm saying? Now, at this point, we start, you know what I mean? It's good to even kind of take care of the, now it's time to take care of the fees, in my mind, right? And honestly, we're up 36%. To me, that's a pretty good haul. I should really almost sell any trade that goes up above 26 or 27, if, you know what I mean? If you're growing accounts, you know, it adds up over time. I'm telling you, that 10 times is 27. And if you up the ante a couple more times and, you know, hit the trades right, it adds up more than you realize. Smaller time frames are showing the sell pressure here and the breakdown in between the order books. I'm a little too deep there at 60,483, but there is a lot of what I call a spillover. A lot of times once we hit big red, I see another red form and price action starts to, you know what I mean? Look at 58,000 starting to creep out and get a little strong. You know, maybe people are back in their margin, and when they do that, it starts to kind of create bigger liquidations. They're getting scared. When price action gets closer to 60K, these people that thought they caught the bottom for sure, the for sure people, the liquidate, you know what I mean? The market makers love the for sure people. I'm a long-term investor for Bitcoin, and I scalp and take my hits, you know, and I'm a couple-day swing trader. Like right now, I'm not in any massive Bitcoin long. Like I'm not committed. They can't leverage me out. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? And today I'm free to do whatever I want with the market, which makes me, you know what I mean? I kind of love it. I'm not stuck. If I was in some massive trade right now, I'd be like in the back of my head. I don't know if I'd be able to. I want to be free as an analyst too. I want to keep my mind limber so I can really call the market properly with high probability, or, you know, at least give you guys the best, what I think is the best strategy to tackle whatever could be happening, you know. Say, here's our both probabilities. Here's our highest likelihood of this happening. We go with this, we're likely to win this, you know. Okay, finally a couple green candles. We'll see. No engulfing, nothing crazy. Still some wick to the downside. This next candle has a little bit of a deciding factor. 41 seconds till it closes. Shout out to my awesome subscribers here on the live. Let's hit the like button. Thank you for jumping on in. May God bless you all. Shout out to all the crypto streamers in the world that keep streaming amazing. Shout out to anyone that keeps up the streak, keeps up their stream, keeps up their channel. God bless you all. Thank you to everybody here. Shout out to everyone that reaches out and says, Sam, I love the channel. I listen to it when I'm outside. I do this. Some people listen to it like a podcast. Some people watch it daily. Some people listen to daily. But shout out to everybody that participates in the stream. Please, if you're on your phone, like, you move it for a second and you can hit that like. The like will show up and you hit the like button, then you can switch it back the other way. There might be or you might even just have to tap it. I don't know. There might be a different way. But hit that like button if you're out here. Might be time to take some profits. We're finally getting a little bit of juice our way here. Again, could it, you know, feel like we didn't hit the target yet, but and this would either be like a big recovery. It would be something like this. This would have to be kind of like some type of head and shoulder pattern like this that could possibly, or it just continues lower and we keep the dump. You know, I'm looking for the dump to continue. Obviously, I'm in that short, so. Which I always find odd saying when I'm like, I'm in that short for, you know, man, my baby, the ultimate asset for my life, and it's Bitcoin, you know what I mean? But a trade's a trade, a day's a day. You know what I'm saying? It's coming, you know what I mean? You can't get, you know, you can't cry about making a day's pay. So finally some green action here. First time, and you know what I mean? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 minutes of green action here. Let's take a look at that 5 minute. Still not amazing. Pretty far from the 21-day moving average, right? But even suggests that we may just make a bear flag. Right, like nothing there like is like, wow, we're going to reverse for sure. It would either be one of those nasty reversals where we just go straight up and obliterate any shorts, or we're going to consolidate again into a nice, you know. So if we're slowing down, and again, it could take another hour or two just to hit the target, which is crazy, right? We're okay. What would you do right now? You take profits. Someone's like, I take a partial. I sell half and I keep half, right? Probably the smartest thing to do. The smart thing to do is to sell half and to keep half over there, you know? Anyway, I do whatever, you know? You do whatever. Everyone has a different idea. You know what's crazy is you could have the same trade. Like, we could all make this exact trade. Like, basically the entry, the stop, and then 50 people trade it 50 different ways, man. Someone goes in and out 7 times. Forget, you know what I mean? Someone lets it ride. I mean, look at this. This looks like Hikanashi, for crying out loud. That's crazy. Whenever I see that, I'm always like, it's just, those are like sell orders getting absolutely obliterated. It just looks like some type of manipulation. Like, how does it go? Red, 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 red. It's Hikanashi, man. Like everywhere else, we're getting little red, little green. It's a sprinkle. And then just full obliteration. And I do what I can to keep my trading group away from getting liquidated, man. You know? If anything, you know, if you're around me, we've been pretty dang good. We call that amazing long on Saturday. We call the short today. You got to give us, you know, if you've been watching me and holding me and criticizing me very tightly, or you've been on me like, like if you want to find fault with me, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised that we've been doing pretty dang good on a daily basis. So we'll do what we can to help anybody and anyone that jumps on into the channel. Appreciate and love you. Without, viewership, we have nothing. I know that. Everything I get is from each and every one of you. The love, the light, the happiness. I get to say, hey, I have a big channel, and I get to go around the world, talk to people, and meet people. And it's because each and every one of you awesome people hit that subscribe button. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll never forget it. I want to reiterate it every single day because I can't believe I get to live the dream of working from home and doing what I love. So I appreciate you all, and I thank you so much. I'll show up every day tirelessly, and I'll be full of energy, light, love, and happiness because you guys fulfill me. I love this channel. Connecting to the world through a microphone in your home, what a blessing. So now we look, the bigger time frames could start kind of getting a reversal here. Got a pretty nasty sell-off. Starting a fight here with the candle in the 15, away from the 21. Maybe kind of what we got there. 1 hour still looks pretty, pretty far away from the 21, but pretty nasty. It looks like it would have to eat at least. I feel like there's more down. You got to kind of curve this down here. Then we can kind of come back to it. I feel like there's still some more Dumpski coming. I could be wrong. I don't know if I'm buying any of this reversal nonsense. Looks pretty weak to me. I like this green beginning means like it could turn into a red candle, right? That could turn into a wick down. It is far from the 21. You do expect that bounce back up. That's how I traded the daily. And then, the only thing I see is like, what if this turns into a shoulder? That would be a giant inverted head and shoulder. I've seen crazier things. I've seen way crazier things happen in trading. So it's like, hey, and that's the weirdest thing about it is I don't care how much work you put in, how great you are. And that's what Mark Douglas, Mark Douglas humbled me. He wrote a book called Trading in the Zone, and I started reading it. And you can get it for free audio. Like there's a bunch of just people that have copied it now, put it out there on YouTube. All right. I don't know who. It's just everywhere. So I'm not saying it's right. It just is what it is. But if you write Trading in the Zone, it shows up. And you can kind of pick whoever, audio recordings, some AI, some whatever. And what Mark Douglas taught me was that no matter how smart, how slick, and how great I thought I was as a trader, that every day was a new day, that every trade was a new trade, and every situation could have, unforeseeable outcomes. Like you wake up yesterday, humanity might have been in one of the best, setups. Now it wasn't really, but I'm just saying it could have been. Or you could even have been in humanity here when it breaks out. I'm like, I'm going to ride this nice wave. That's a bull flag, and it has a nice measured move. And, we're going to get up to, and it's on the way, and everything's looking great. Next thing you know, it has the exploit. Things start to happen, and then boom, it's cooked, right? And now it's like got all this bad press, and it is what it is. It happens. Now, you can act like you didn't know or whatever, it is what it is. So Bitcoin kind of getting a bit of a pump here. Do I take my 200 and run? Right here is the crux of a trader. Do you hold for the bigger trade to play out for the day? Do you take the smaller profits? I've done everything. Right now, I have moved my stop loss, taken the money, and watched it completely dump and been like, dang. Had I stayed in that trade, I would have made so much more money. I've also not gotten out and watched it come and taken me out and been like, wow, I sat there for an hour or two and got nothing. Which would be better? The best thing would be to take the profits for sure because there it is. That's a locked-in gain. Even if it continues to dump, it doesn't matter. If every time you bought and it continued to dump, so what? But if every time you waited till it came back, then you'd have basically nothing. Agreed? No. 200 times 10 is $2,000. It'll add up if I do this 10 times. I can also get back into a short if it starts to, I'll move the stop to here right now. Bringing in maybe $70 at the 270 because it looks like way less than half or a little under half. And I'll start to assess the situation on the bigger and the smaller time frames. Pretty far for the 15 on that 21. Very oversold in the stochastics. Had a nice dump. Price action may revisit right back up there and go after the late shorts, which would be moi, you know. Looks like it could even make a bear flag, which would take some time. 1 hour looks more bearish, like once it closes, it would just continue to dump. Am I in a good position for that? So the 1 hour doesn't look good to me. This candle closes in 10 minutes. This 5-minute candle is on an absolute rampage, though. Macho reversal. These are longs I like to take, you know what I mean? It's funny when I'm short because I'm seeing like where I would be on the other side of the trade. Now you've gotten above the 21. That's the first step. You make some type of divergence. You make a move back up. This is interesting. The trading dilemma. And people think, oh, a tweet will send it this and send it that. But it's price action. You know, whether a tweet came or not, whether whatever happens, it's price action. Every once in a while, there's just a dump out of nowhere. But it's usually like, it still falls in line with the geometric shape of price. Like, even if we got a massive tweet out of nowhere and there's massive war in this haste trade, you know what I mean? And Bitcoin just dumps again. And again, there has been issues of conflict yet again. Okay, which puts people back into gold, right? And so let's take a look at that too for a split second. Because if you see gold kind of making a move, and so that 1 hour candle just closed at 11, all right, and we have the beginnings of the next candle, which actually even had a bit of a little wake up and seems to be melting down towards what people thought was their bottom liquidation point. I kind of drew this out, seeing if it could make a bear flag with the 1 minute time frame, which means it would go sideways with the 21 below the 200 and continue lower. I question the bullish momentum on that push, and we'll see. I think I may have been right. We'll see. We don't know just yet. The second I say that, bing, right? Don't jinx yourself. Let's take a look at gold right now on the charts. Bitcoin dumping out the head and shoulder on the 1 hour time frame. You wake up, I saw that. And that's why I call it trading stupid, and I don't mean to push anyone's buttons. For me, it's like, I don't mean to call myself stupid, but when I trade stupid, I mean, it's, you wake up, head and shoulder. Even the little bit of red right there, I get in right there. I put stop loss right there. And like, that's it. And then you walk away. Go take your dog for a walk. Go eat breakfast. Go work out. Come back 1, 2, almost 3 hours later. Oh, my trade go well. I almost hit target. I hold till target. You know? Then go have a couple business meetings. Maybe film some content. Right? Blah, blah, blah. Come back. Oh, boom. You know, eventually hit the target. And it's just amazing. Like, you just, you know, you just trade what you see. You don't overthink it. That's a head and shoulder. I mean, why play it? They've been trading head and shoulders for dang near 100 years. My dad always said, don't reinvent the wheel. And my dad said it all the time. He thought, you know, someone must have said it to him. He loved it. So it's there, man. And it was like, no, reinvent the wheel. We got to innovate here. We're going to space, man. You know, I get it. But there's a reason why certain things just work over and over again in trading. Still don't have to trust the move. Still, this is good enough to take profits here. I mean, this is now starting to look somewhat like an inverted head and shoulder. Like it's attempting to kind of come back to the upside. 1 hour doesn't look amazing, though, I got to say. But you know what? If this closes, that's your tweezer bottom, and there's a chance. And that's what we're going to start looking at on the bigger time frame. When I haven't done my top down yet, because we're just watching this trade live. You have to be okay with taking profits and watching it dump. You have to say, am I okay with selling and watching it keep continuing to go down? Once you say yes, then you can take profits. And like push it out, like, and be like, I will be grateful for everything in my life. I will be grateful for all the ups and all the downs, everything, and all the goodness too. Right? And winning is winning, man. Once you can be grateful for something small, you can begin to attract something even larger. But if you can't be grateful for the small things, then nothing larger will come. It all begins. So I get excited when something small happens because it's basically the ember, the tiny little flame that sparks the beginning of the next big coming for me. You know what I mean? Something is going to happen. If something small can happen, something big can happen. That's why I love these small wins. That's why I cherish smaller trades, because when I have gratitude over today, my oh my, I can only tell you how many riches and abundance will come my way. When I'm sour and I'm like complaining over $200 and I say I coulda, woulda, shoulda, and I use a lot of scarcity and fear mindsets, it doesn't pan out well for me. I eventually attract scarcity and lack into my life. It's a lack mentality. No need for it. I want to live in abundance. You know what I'm saying? You could say this is a bit of a symmetrical triangle. They mainly break to the downside when Bitcoin is bearish. To me, the 1 hour is the one that's kind of pressing. And I feel like the 1 hour doesn't look amazing. And it has a lot of downward momentum on it. By all means, I could be wrong. We could reverse at any moment. I don't know. I'm just going by probability and what my subconscious mind is telling you from years of doing this. I hope I'm not even using my conscious mind. Like, that's the thing. When you see the trade the way you see it, like trading stupid is like using your subconscious mind. It's like, what I mean by stupid is you're not going into the frontal cortex and having all this discourse. You're not having 1,000 conversations. You're having one moment in time where you're just going boom, 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 right? It's a yes and no answer with a fast response. You're not sitting there having a debate over it. So here we stand. I mean, the patience too to wait while you see these green candles is tough. You're like, dang, I'm seconds away from nothing and seconds away from something. And I'm in control all the time of what could be. And staying calm is the only way you can kind of manage these types of trades. And it's not even that much to me, but it's still, to me, the whole trade matters. Does resemble an inverted head and shoulder, a bit of a cup and handle. That's how you would want the next green candle to start, a red move first. See, you want a green pump. That's usually the wick down. It's crazy, but that's how it works. They go up to go down, they go down to go up, right? See, they're like, that was red, and now that you've got this 21 nicely placed, you usually could make a move up to the 200 moving average. Some people are going to start longing this heavy duty. It will create some liquidity down here. That's the only thing. We still got a ball down here. Doesn't mean we're going there for sure. I've seen us defy the big red, but it's rare. We're back at 61.5, which I believe was our resistance last time that we were kind of gave up on, but we're attempting to get back above it now. We get back above 61.5, it's psychological support of resistance. We get rejected by it, it's pretty much a guarantee we're going down to 61.8. I mean 60,008 or lower. Wow, so they're going to break out the symmetrical triangle. So far, it did just break out with a closed candle above that trend line. I mean, it's an inverted head and shoulder, is it not? I would not long this. Usually I don't. I guess unless I would long in like the 1 hour. Is the 1 hour make it a tweezer bottom? It is. So that's the possible front run. You long this and this thing starts to bounce, right? Back up to the 21, even if it's bearish, but back up to the 21. So see how the small time frames and the big time frames work together to find the daily bottom? And then you see if this candle can start to kind of flip green or get some type of reversal pattern in it. You're like, was this the bottom that people want, demanded to be? Or anyway, I really want to do some big top-down analysis to dig deep here. Yeah, and so a long time in the trade only to be kind of, to get almost nil there, right? This looks like it's going to ride all the way back up. $8, low fees of the trade. Yeah, that rounded 21 is not the best. Nice. And look, I mean, it's all red one way and then it's all green another. It's insane, right? So very similar to a false move Monday today. Getting a lot of people wrecked on the inside. I'm happy just to make a little bit because I could tell they're just rocking it. When I stop in, man, I'm probably going to come in for a little more. We'll see. You never know. This might head and shoulder. I may be able to hang on here. It's maybe the inflection point for the 1 hour time frame. Let's see. This is close. This would either flag out now on the one, right? It's going to have to flag out a little bit to gain some momentum, consolidate, break up to the 200, or this could right shoulder down. Let's see what we do with this momentum here. Let me get back to the top. I'm really interested in the top down. I love my top downs. Starting to tweezer bottom there a little bit on the 1 hour too as well. 61,650. Let's check, Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we have a massive head and shoulder on the monthly chart, right? Can't deny it, as we're talking about patterns today the whole time. We can't deny that. And it, shoulder, head, right shoulder, thing looks like it could make a massive move to the downside. The only thing is, that does start to take you to we're talking 13,000, very low places for Bitcoin. And it's almost like are people trying to get clickbait for talking about it? You know what I mean? Which I'm not. I just go over the facts. I don't try to be rude about it. I just tell I tell myself what I tell you. It is what it is. Sometimes it does. I don't even like hearing what I'm saying as a technical analyst. I'm like, man, that's bearish, 14,000, something like that. Could we go that low? I'm open-minded that anything can happen after what I told you Mark Douglas told me. Be so open-minded that it's never too bad or never too good. And that goes the other way. I've been so open-minded that I've been able to ride pumps way farther than most people, because they start thinking realistic. Oh, it's not realistic we could pump like that. Let TA tell you where it's going to go. That's what's the most realistic, is what TA says. I'm looking for this to turn into an inverted head and shoulder. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 months. October 1st, there's, we start to make the move to the, starting to curve down so far. Let's see if I made that bold decision to stick it out here. 1 hour doesn't look good to me. There's the bigger resistance to it, 61.8. See, we make a right shoulder here and dump. Might take 20, 30 minutes. So, there's still a chance here. We come up, we might even go a little lower, but we somehow break out, retest, and use this monthly as a falling wedge to break out. Still open-minded to this. We'll see. There's some strong support right now on the monthly that we did bounce off of at 59. See where this candle, basically, you can say it closed at 58,978, right? And the low of this candle was at 59,130, so pretty dang close. BOOKMAP still screams it wants red and more red. And look, a little more liquidity starting to form at 59,000 now. Starting to get juicier down here on the lows. Not saying we're going there for sure. And there's a little slim pickings up there at 62.4. Just enough hanging, but it's the big red sits down low at 60,800, saying that's where we're going to go. We still kind of keep playing with this 61.5 area. Bitcoin just getting a nice little pump to the upside here out of nowhere. A nice little boom. Boom in the order book, back to the upside. You can see not much to play with, even though I'm having fun here. And we did get a bit of a drop there on the smaller time frames. These are small time frames. It's not like Bitcoin's been amazing. It's gone from 62.2 to 61. It's made a little $1,000 move there. It's bounced back now about 600, 700 bucks. Looks like it wants war back to the upside. I'm going to get out. I'm done watching it. Everyone's like, no. The second you get out. Pull my stop. I guess I like to be out for reasons. Like so I put it at this wick. But it's just like now it's like circumstantial. Like, you know. I'll tell you what, the wins add up. Eventually, my last streak too is like small little wins, 30, 50, 60. They were just, I round trip some trades, but I always put my stop loss to break even because I was going for $2-3 grand. I'd be up $600 and, I'd wait it out and then I'd actually put my stop loss to break even, go to sleep. I'd wake up and like, damn, they got me in the middle of the night, but I still made $80 with after fees or something like that, And then I was able to make the two bigger trades, one for 13, one for like 12. And, now you're talking a nice 2,600 and then a 4 and a 5. And now, now I'm end up making almost $4 grand in a day and a half. And so it added up before I knew it. And I was doing just like I'm doing now, smaller little trades. Next thing I look back, I'm like, damn, man, I ended up making a couple thousand. More than that, I quadrupled thousand. So I tell you what, it's weird how it happens, and it's also about staying limber in the game. Like, this is keeping my mind inside the trading zone. It's almost like a swimmer. Maybe sometimes you don't get to swim the big laps, but as long as you went to a smaller pool, that's all you had access to, but you still did somewhat of a routine that day. You kept the consistency. To me, trading's about staying consistent, staying in that moment, staying in the risk management department, not opening up trades, randomly at random times just because you feel like you got to be in a trade, Watching the risk very closely. I mean, this is starting to make a nice little flag here that could break out too. Starting to show signs of a move to the 200 moving average. Gotta look at it for what it is. Still don't trust the price action today at all by any means. After the liquidations last weekend, I feel like the order book is still a little sketchy. We also have CPI tomorrow. Let's talk about that for a split second. Tomorrow, Wednesday, core CPI comes in month over month, year over year, month over month, and year over year there. Core CPI and CPI. That will hit us at 8:30. That data will rock the market. I've seen it many times. Don't underestimate Wednesday at 8:30. If you're in a trade, make sure you do use a stop or at least know what's going on. I would be at least at your desk. Many a person gets wrecked tomorrow at 8:30. I'm telling you right now, I can already call it. It's like there's always more accidents when it rains hard during rush hour. Same idea. For whatever reason, someone's going to get caught up in the mix here. Don't let it be you. Write down Wednesday at 8:30 and be ready. June 10th. It's coming for us. Okay. And it is what it is. Just be ready for it. And what does that mean? There's just volatility on that day. It's likely going to happen. So just get ready for that. And that's all I got to say. I mean, it's important. If I didn't mention it and then at 8:30 we got mollywopped a trade that you just got into and you were like, man, I was in that trade. I had no idea. It's like, well, I didn't do a great job of like keeping you up to date of what's happening in the market there. All right. So pay attention to those numbers. They matter. They matter big time. So here now, this would have to keep the 21. This is what you're looking for. Consolidate, turn into a flag, and then it can break up to the 200. Then I'll get booted out my trade. Or it starts to roll over. But now that it's above that 21, it's starting to create a mini trend. So mini trends begin when you break the 21. Then you try to break the 200 with the 21. And that's the bigger mini trend. If that's sustainable, you break the 200 on multiple time frames. First, you break it on the 1 minute, then the 3 minute, then the 5 minute. You see? Then you get back above it on the 15. Then you get above it on the 30. Then you end up getting above it on the 1 hour. Then you get back above it on the 4 hour. And then the daily. And then you basically start a reversal. So reversals happen on the bigger time frame, on the smaller time frames, and they bleed in. And in the same way, a short, you'll start to lose the 1 minute 200 moving average. You'll see it. Then the 5 minute, boom, 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 and then you'll eventually be losing the daily. Then again, the small time frames will reset during these times. Like right here, you start to roll over. You lost right here. I know I can prove it to you. You lost the 4 hour or the 1 hour, or the 15-minute 200 moving average, and that would have given you an indication to get inside that trade, right? So it's crazy how I'm kind of trusting the momentum here, even though Bitcoin's playing games on the smaller time frames. I'm more trusting in on the momentum, and that 1 hour seems to be somewhat struggling. We'll see. This is where I would like to enter my longs, right there. You know, technically, I'm not above the 200. I've learned that it's a little sketchier when you're below the 200 because the momentum's not 100% in your favor. The setup is there, 21 on the inside the flag and all. The setup is there, but I like this setup when I'm above the 200. I just learned it's so sweet. Why do it? Like, why play it when the odds aren't as good? So that's what I've been learning. But again, people do whatever they want, and you can use my knowledge however you like. You might see something, a pocket of liquidity. You might be using different indicators. You might be using vector candles. There might be a reason why, I mean, low stochastics with the 21 touching is a pure entry for longs. I love it. It works out many times for me. If I get topped out, it would make a lot of sense. Wow, what a day so far, right? Anyway, let's get back to the top down, the tippy top. This might make a right shoulder too. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. We'll see. So the monthly, we may just, we may be very close to the bottom. Spend a couple days in pain there. 10 on the fear and greed. I mean, again, that's where I guess we're at 10, and it says now at 8. It moved to 8. Oh, so it was 8 yesterday. We've moved up a little bit from 8. I mean, we were at 5 twice, and we got these pretty good prices. So this tells me, man, that it's a great time to buy Bitcoin. I buy Bitcoin at these lower prices. I always have, and always will. I don't chase it up. You can't buy it up here. So if you can't buy it in the heavy greed, where can you buy it? So oh, wow. No Bitcoin bull run this summer. Yeah, maybe. A fable today. That's so weird. I'm just getting some weird aggregated news here at us. Anthropic, all sorts of stuff coming out. Cloud Fable later today. A safeguarded Mythos classic model. Priced about 2x Cloud Opus after initial Mythos pricing was 5x. Cloud Fable. Anyway, let's kind of get back into what's happening with these altcoins too as well. Once I'm done with the top down. Look at this, man. I'm sticking to my bearishness here, and it may tend to pay off, right? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now we got a descending triangle kind of in a way. Can't even say this is more, we'll see. This is but it's to me breaking down. The 1 hour looks like it wants blood. And I feel like the smaller time frames just can't compete with that. But we'll see. But the 1 hour looks to me like it wants blood. Take out the wick. Really send it. Head and shoulder to the downside. Come to... And also there's just that POC. 60,008 is just screaming, come get me. Look how long I've had to wait. This is such a beautiful... what I like about the show is some days I don't even realize what is portrayed in the show. Like, I just act throughout the trade, but then when you look back, you're like, what was really given out? So many people get so many different things from the show. So many people have just learned the VRVP. Some people have learned a head and shoulder pattern and maybe really stuck to it now for the next time they see it, they're really going to stick to it. Like in the next month or two, someone's going to see a head and shoulder, trade the right shoulder, and actually make money and be like, man, I did what I was supposed to, and they do it without emotions. Right? That might be, someone might learn that how to trade below the 200 moving average, because that's the trend is against you, and how to use the 21 for entry. Someone else might say, hey, I'm using proper risk management. I've been using the wrong risk management. I keep getting liquidated because I don't even realize my stop loss is above, further than my liquidation. Who knows what people learn on the show? Someone also might learn, hey, wow, I never realized how much longer I had to stay in the trade to really win the trade. You know what I mean? I always thought the 5 minute was going to be fast. I always thought I was going to take me, I didn't realize Or just, wow, look at the discipline in every trade, in every moment, you know? So a lot to be conveyed today. Today's a really great learning lesson here. I mean, it always is, but some days are more like learning lesson focused. And that's how I look at it today. So very tight on that monthly. Taking a long time to get through my top down today. I apologize. Some days it's just how it is. We go to the 2-week chart. 2-week, you know, a little bit lower. You know, we've lost this key level. To me, the 2 weeks got to get back above that foundation. I mean, it's crazy, right? We held it for so long. 65,990, you know, 66K. Got to get back above 66,000. You can see we're still in the chunk of liquidity. The basically area that everyone's paying attention to is this area right there. 55,550, 54,800 area, you know, 54K. Anytime that thing turns into a 55455, they're going to be like, oh my gosh. Now, you lose that, you can see it's going to be where these right shoulders both hit. And it's going to be an area, probably not exactly, you know, right there. Yeah, like a chunky area of liquidity. And that's like 48, 49,000. You lose that, and we're talking about 38K. The only reason 38K comes up for me is because when I pull a gigantic fib, we do come right there to about 38,005 at the 786, and we could dip a little lower. I've seen it, so you never know. And that would really just clean out anyone that's trying to double in on a long there, you know, hit one of these massive longs with huge liquidation and try to run up Bitcoin. So there, you know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be a choppy summer. We might get a little pump up here. July might be awesome. We might get a pump in July. A dump in August. Into August. And, you know, as August ends, a little pump, a tiny pump. Halfway through September, we dump down again. You know, we really don't start to break out till maybe halfway through October. And then November, December is when we really get out of the bowl. You know, and that would make sense. That would be the same as this, and that's what I talked to everyone about recently, right? You hold shift, plus sign, hold shift from the top of the rally all the way to the bottom. So from that bottom wick to the top wick, it's about 378 days. See that? That's how long the bear market run. Which ain't bad when you think about it. And right now we're at 238, so 378 is right there, about October 12th. So it tells me that's when this market's somewhere. That's when the market's going to end. It's not that bad. We only have to go through a 1-year bear market, and like lately, Bitcoin went on a 3-year run basically. The bear, you know, what was the last bear market from top to bottom, and we had the pandemic in the middle. That was 800 days. That one was rough. You could say this was really the top here, which some say it really was 588, right? Yikes. But to me, the real bottom was right there. You know, we started recovering ever since then. We went on a run. Then we had the pandemic in the middle. I feel like we would have went sideways and never revisited that low. And again, if you go from that one's still, again, about 365 to 378 days. You see? That doesn't mean we just go straight up and it's awesome, but it means those buys never come again from those key areas. And you do get rewarded for getting in at the heavy fear. But you got to be able to figure this out for yourself. Nobody can tell you what to do and force you to do it. I mean, that to me is a head and shoulder pattern, right? We're back to making descending triangles. We're, you know. Like when you're bearish, you're bearish. When you're bullish, you're bullish. It tells you what to do. You just listen to the charts. Just listen to the charts. And wow, we got pretty close to my trigger, but we didn't hit it. We did not hit it. And just the 1 hour to me looks like it doesn't, you know, it wants to dump. Smaller time frames are saying, you know, we're going to roll over again. We're going to continue these descending triangles. See? 5 minute has been really great. So you got the 1 hour working for you. The daily, you know, you look at the daily and you're like, okay, daily doesn't look great. And then you're like, okay. Then you check the 1 hour. The 1 hour says, hey, for the next few hours, I could dump for you. So I got 4 to 5 hours in the 1 hour. So then you check the 5, and the 5 minute keeps rolling over. So you have your answer, okay? And you can do this bullish or bearishly, and this is how I use multiple time frames. It's more than just indicators. It's about using multiple time frames when you trade. You know, whittling down, we call it. You know, top-down analysis, which I got to finish. Funny. And I don't want to write on the trade that I'm in right now. I hope I'm on 2 different ones. I usually do this. Which, Von in my, oh no, I'm on, all right, so I'll delete. Anyway, but then I'm going to be, whatever. But see, that's a head and shoulder. We can see where that's going, folks. That's dumping. That's a shoulder, a head, right shoulder. And look, that was a shoulder head right there. It told us. Could it be a cup and handle? To me, no, that's rolling over, but we didn't get it. I've never, it would be rare. I don't know what that is. Because it makes a giant Adam and Eve, possibly, like this. I'm open-minded, but that looks to me like it's going to roll down. Especially this is going to turn the wick down and turn into a nasty red. So now I always look at the monthly, then I look at the 2-week chart, just in case you're like, what's going on here, right? So 54.7 looks like that could be, and then right here in this chunky area about 48,000, right? If we come to those levels, then we can start talking about going lower in 37 and 38. For now, and I showed you that we do have that Fibonacci. So it wouldn't be crazy if we went to 38,000. I just, I got to just show you that stuff. That's where we went here. If you take this low to that high, we went right to that 786 with a little dip below. And so I just, if this bear market's anywhere like the other one, right? Still have a possibility of a falling wedge. That's your Hail Mary, folks. That's the hopium copium, I always say. The weekly now wants to close below the 200. Look at bearish today, and that closes pretty bearish. To me, what that tells me is we want to go to the 2-week 200. Tells me there's going to be a bottom somewhere around here, $47,000 Bitcoin, and it makes sense. It all kind of equals and adds up. This is also its own little, head and shoulder pattern here. Shoulder, you can make that a bigger head, and those are 2 little shoulders, right? That says you can go down right to 19, 20,000 where there's a bunch of liquidity. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but I mean, anything can happen. See, that's what Mark Douglas told me is but it's Bitcoin, but it's this, but it doesn't, all that stuff blinds the human mind into believing that math can't take place that we haven't seen. All math can take place that we haven't seen. We just have to have the right parameters for all to fall. What if there's the biggest AI thing, everyone moves into it, it eats up the world. Some AI coin calls itself AI Bitcoin. It says it cloned itself as Bitcoin. It's better than Bitcoin, and it tells the world, and it runs a campaign bigger than the world, and it's an AI coin, and it knows how to brainwash the minds of men. Next thing you know, everyone talks about it and moves it, and there's only a few humans that don't get brainwashed by the AI, and they're like, but this is not, it's not the real Bitcoin, the old Bitcoin, and next thing you know, anything could happen, right? I know it's a crazy story, but I just hypothesize about things I'd have, what could or couldn't be. Massive dump of the 5-day chart, just looking, bearish. Jumping back into, wow, look how long it's taken too. And I'm saying I'm using pretty high risk, and it's taking a long time just to make a day's pay here. I used to, to make $350 to $400. I used to have to put a bicycle on my back. I used to ride my bike to work. I used to go to a night shift. I wouldn't work with everyone during the day. I would be stared at by my boss. I had to be working alone so I could do whatever I want. You know what I mean? You work alone, put your feet up on the seat. You could sit there, do whatever you want, man. No one's bothering you. You work alone. They have cameras here and there, whatever, but you know what I mean? For the most part, you're working alone. You're doing your thing. I worked alone for 5 years on a night shift with one other dude, but he would come in later on. I'd work from 7 to 3. He'd come in from 11 to 4. Sometimes even 12, sometimes even 1. And we got it to the point where he would let me leave early as long as you know what I mean? So look, the 3-day was at the rising wedge. We made the bearish move. And then we just continued down to the end. I mean, this makes sense. Now we took out the low now. What that's showing to me is this could bear flag lower. The momentum is in the favor of the bears for sure. And this is going to bear flag for, I don't know, maybe a week or two, about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then it's going to hit the 21 and possibly dump for more. You know what I'm saying? Unless we kind of decide, this will start to show us. What's cool about this is if we get the bounce, it could start to it'll start, this is what I do. I make these insane projections. And then price every once in a while this boom, and then we get these bounces and we start to do this, then we can start to say, oh, wow, maybe I wasn't wrong, And next thing you know, I am wrong, and then I am right. And next thing you know, I make these insane predictions. But they all start with these like tiny little projections, and then we kind of grow from there. It's awesome how it works, right? Still kind of bearish, sitting here trying to dig into a double bottom, but to me it looks more like a descending triangle that will roll over. Price action beginning to crawl today. It's slow and fast today, huh? It's like we get a move, we crawl. We get a move, we crawl. It's slow and fast. It's a slow and fast day of trading, but it is a beautiful day here. 6-9, baby. Today is, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They call it the yin yang. Today is the yin yang day. Happy yin yang day. June 9th, 6-9. So the 3-day looks like to me like it's making the beginnings of a bear flag. It depends on what this, you know what I mean? In 3 days, if this closes with a wick, then, we V-shape recovery back. We should be moving back to the top of the channel if we're in a pattern, we usually are. But another thing with the daily is we lost some key levels now. Where this candle closed, at least right there, is now a resistance. And even right now, we're kind of right on where this candle, we're like right there. And the daily's about to close. It closed a tweezer top, bearish, and then the next candle should be red. Doesn't have to be an engulfing. If the candle is red next to a green, green next to a red, and then today was bearish from 8 p.m. on, and it just kind of what. And as I've even said, it might be in a kind of a. I wouldn't be surprised if we're making a bear flag, a legit bear flag. Because we got to pull that 21 with it. We got to get this. We got to get this dump over with, man. We got to flush out these soy boys that think they can hang. You know what I mean? You got to show them that Bitcoin is not an easy asset to go long term. It's only for the real players. It's only for the people with real guts of steel. You can't be money hungry to hold Bitcoin. If you're money hungry, you'll sell and buy Bitcoin. You'll have to swing trade it all the time. To really hold Bitcoin it takes valor, it takes time. Like you get rewarded with a badge of honor when you hold Bitcoin. You earn that money. You make millions on Bitcoin years from now, you're going to earn that, man. It's not like it didn't come for free. So people think, just holding Bitcoin, all you have to do is just hold it. It sounds so simple. But just holding it is not easy. Like, you know what I mean? You can ask, like, some of these people here in the game that have been in the game a long time. You know what I mean? Some of these people happen to wear nice little yellow t-shirts and jeans. You know what I mean? And they might be fixing a little ring game. And they could tell you about Bitcoin and what it's like, you know what I mean, to hold Bitcoin. Like this person right here. What's it like to hold Bitcoin long term? Is it easy? People say it's easy. You just buy Bitcoin and you get to make money. Is it that simple to hold Bitcoin long term?
Is it simple? No, because
do you want to come on down, like sit like on my lap?
No. Wait, are you frozen?
No, we're just behind, but we can find you now. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, just like, is it easy to hold Bitcoin long term?
There's a lot of emotions involved because when Bitcoin goes up, all of a sudden you're happy and,
You have to come down to the mic, baby.
Okay, so
there you go. Sit on my lap. There you go.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so when it goes up, you're happy and, you have something to celebrate. And then when it goes down, you're a bit sad. And you're like, but why didn't I sell it when it was on the top? And then you're like, but it's going to go to 200K. So, like, why am I worried now? And I think the best way to look at it is to buy it and keep buying it and leave it alone. Don't touch it and think of it as an investment for the future, right?
Like a house. Like
a house.
I think of like
treat
Manhattan
it.
real estate, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, or, you know, real estate and Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, like
Yeah.
very closed, small pieces, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your return overnight. You're not
Yeah.
looking for this fast cash. You're looking for a safe, long-term investment.
Yeah, and what's that quote that you always say? Like,
I'd rather own a Bitcoin and have. I'd rather have a Bitcoin and not need it than need a Bitcoin and not have one.
Yeah, and and don't panic sell. All right, no panic selling.
Remember panic sellers?
Don't panic sell.
Yeah. Thank you. That's so much good insight there from a Bitcoiner in the game, long term too. All right, married to a Bitcoiner, very smart guy, really intelligent guy, one of the most handsome Bitcoiners in the game. She's married to. I don't know who it is, but I know he's around somewhere. That guy's amazing. Absolute amazing guy. One of the best. One of the best you ever seen in your life. Wait, am I talking about? Love is love, baby. I'm going through IC 2020 new manager, and I am truly angry that I made when it came. Yes. I buy soul now. He's amazing. What's his name? The Gimp and Pimp. You're funny, man. Wife or life or stream ASAP. Are you enjoying the stream? Show your appreciation and hit that like button. Sam Lart. Why do people call me Sam Lart? Once upon a time, I would freak out seeing the drop. Smiling, so grateful it allowed me to accumulate more of my favorite coin. Let's go. You got to focus on the good while everyone's focused on the... And look at this. Now we're in chop. Bitcoin's between 61,397 and 61... And we've been doing this a lot between 10 and 12. Specifically between 11:30 and 12:30, we've been seeing a lot of chop recently. And what do? I mean, I just kind of stick. You know what I do is I walk away, and eventually I come back, and I'm like, either get that trigger hit, and I go, oh, awesome. And we have our first trade of the day. And again, I like to trade Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon. Today could be a $5,000 day, $2,000 day. This isn't the beginning. This isn't the end. Like, I might make 10 trades today, 2 trades. It may be the only trade I make. I don't know. But it's how I begin. It's how we start going. Want to get right to that blue. Come on, baby. And look how easy you can move. You can, if you say, hey, I want to be at 61.4, 64, right? 60,416. Could we double bottom here? Are we making an Adam and Eve? Anything is possible. Seems like we're kind of, we're struggling a little bit. So daily, to me, doesn't look amazing. It would have to make some type of crazy move back up. I haven't seen that before. A V-shaped recovery, we usually keep going up. I've never seen one with a little hitch there. That's rare. Maybe it's kind of a cup and handle. This, as the 21 comes here, the first touch of the 21, usually you get another leg down. Just in my humble opinion. That's usually the first, again, right when we touched on the 8-hour time frame, we start to dump. I see this as a mingle, and then that also is adding. It looks bearish all around, folks. If we were bullish, this would have pumped up. We would have crossed the 200. They're going to come down and smother us. What do I mean by getting smothered? Well, when you're bearish, you'll touch the 21 and it'll roll you over. It won't be, you know what I mean? It's like, and you buy you buy and short it, just like you long the bounce off the 200 when you're in a bull trend. It's the same idea. And look at the 5-minute in limbo below the 200. The 15, that's bearish. 21 waiting for it. I see more downside for Sheezy. Like, so, yeah. If anything, I'm going to kind of live in the smaller time frames for a little bit, put a little more weight on them, because the momentum's in our favor. And like, that looks like you barely retested. You're on your way down. There you go. And you got to keep finding your way down to this target there, somewhere at about 58K. So this looks like it could take us even lower. We may have to go sideways for a little bit on this 15 the next few hours to find our way, but throughout all this, I may still even get stopped out. I don't know. It's not easy. The ways of trading. Let's take a look. WorldCoin, Arthur Hayes talked about it. Now it's supposed to be the hottest things in sliced bread, and now it is. So weird, right? How this market works. Biggest loser was humanity. You know what I mean? And Adiera had to come back a little bit. You have to figure after such a pump, but not too bad, really, if you think about it. Let's take a look. In the last hour, Cosmo getting a little bit of a move, which is strange, right? CRYPTOWIFER still hangs out, but not amazing. Just kind of a weak day for altcoins because we had Bitcoin dominance getting kind of taken from them. Only a few pumped. Canton, UCCC, they keep it at 16. It's like a stable coin for the tokenization. I owned it. I started adding it. It's up to you. I told my everyone in my trading group when I added it. We will have a weekly screen share every week where we talk about it. WorldCoin, 51 cents. 27% up on the week after it got tweeted by Arthur Hayes to be the best chain in the game. Yeah. And Adiera still continues. Let's take a look at it. I mean, it seems like it might actually want to continue to go. Beat Adiera. Craziness when you see it. I mean, it's like even that just absurd. When you look at it on the daily, too far for the 21. That's going to have a massive dump at one point. People are going to get wrecked. I just, I feel like trading it is pointless. I can't believe in the last 10 hours there, it went from 345 up to 476. I'd have to almost say it's like put it in its own little, I don't know what it's doing here. Smaller time frame, the better. Almost like dump down, dump back inside, and I mean, it might wreck the shorts right there one more time. People, it has to, because everyone's like, oh, it's dumped so bad, it has to dump, and they give it one more huge up because there's just too many orders that have to be taken out, and then we take the bigger dump and we make like a head and shoulder. That's why the right shoulder is the safer place to enter the short. You kind of get over whatever happened up there. The dust is settled. You show weakness on the long side, and you take advantage, right? We're about to roll over here, in my humble opinion, on the 5-minute. Looks like another good short could be taken here. Not amazing. It's barely about a 2-to-1. If we get to 59.7. Be a little closer there, too, but it's that to me as I'd say about 80% chance of dumping to the downside. I could be wrong, but all right. Okay, here we are on the channel. Woke up this morning. I know you want to say, ba, 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 ba. Woke up this morning. Woke up this morning, and I saw that the charts didn't look amazing. And we ended up starting a bit of a dump here. And it's all head and shoulder. It's been head and shoulder all around. And we started having somewhat of a move to the upside. I didn't believe in it. I didn't trust it. And so far, I'm being proved right. We're going to see what happens here. I've got my stop loss in position. And we're going for a day's pay here, which is over $500 a trade. We want to see if we can get this money and make ourselves some gains. And then continue throughout the day. Only a matter of time, right? Bitcoin's kind of holding off. It's attempting to mellow out here. Possibly an Adam and Eve situation, but right. Now we're going to look at some altcoins, and we're going to jump back into the chat too as well and see what people are saying in the chat. All right, we got my man Nick Flip. Shout out to Nick Flip 2086 in case of W Spritzer. Thank you. People won't buy spot these days, but will for sure at 18 months when the prices are way higher. I know, right? Bull div confirmed to the 15-minute. Oh, no. That's not good. Every bull and bear run are the same. We have all been there. My first bear market, I sold and bought high. This last one, I bought low and sold high. It's hard to buy the fear. You get used to it, though. You have no choice at one point. I made it really simple one day. I said to myself, people think it's hard to buy the fear. Right? They say that. But then I asked myself, I said, when can I buy? I said, I'm not a multi-billionaire. I can't move the market. I'm not, you know what I mean? I said, so I could buy when the market shifts. And when it's really, really bearish, right? Because I don't have I know I can't chase when we're super high. I mean, you could have bought some high. But at one point, Bitcoin was buy high and get paid anyway, right? Buy the all-time high and buy higher, Buy high, sell higher. That's what I meant. You know what I mean? That's what Bitcoin was doing. It was rewarding ridiculousness, 70K, 80K, 90K, like it was out of control. You have to remember the euphoria we had back then. People forget. Every time you feel euphoric, every time it's a 5, 6, 7, 8 month run, a couple year run, everything seems like it can't stop. Write down in your little trader diary, man, this euphoria always ends in pain. So crazy, but it's just how it is, right? This euphoria always ends in pain. I mean, if you sell at the top, I'm not, you know what I mean? Just the general market, like the market shows pain. Doesn't mean you can't get out with your gains. I should have found you earlier, just a few minutes. You could give me your knowledge a lot, bro. Thank you. God bless you, man. When you realize it's the best time of mind, it becomes easy. Yeah. Yeah, do you think it will go down as Ziggy Gaver or go to Ziggy? I am not like that anymore, but for new people, it's hard to buy falling red candles. I now love falling red candles. I see money. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look here at the fan funding. Time is infinite, not a refundable asset, and when it's paired with dedication, it's and hard work, it transforms potential into meaningful success. Thank you, Sam. God bless you. Expert opinion on SKYAI, kindly. We'll take a look at SKYAI. Sam, can you look at silver? Yes, we can. Let's take a look at the S&P silver. S&P getting a bounce. They said it was Black Monday. Oh. My goodness, it does look like it now on the 15-minute. Now, the daily is kind of struggling now. Open pretty green on the morning. Now it is, maybe Black Monday now. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the S&P. I mean, it's in a rising wedge. Almost have to look at it on the monthly now. These things are in such, I've never seen anything go up like that and not have it crash, right? But we are printing money. This is the fact that they're printing so much money. And when you get that much money all the time, and everyone's, everyone's got all this extra cash is flowing all over the place. Right? The poorest people are getting rich. I had to say, even I got rich. I'm like, even I got rich, I had to be honest with myself. Even I got rich. I mean, let's be honest, man. I wasn't born into it. I spent 10 months of my life, or 10 years of my life kind of like, working pretty hard. I have good work ethic, but just not like, I didn't have a real organized way of going about my life, I shouldn't downplay it. I'm super lucky, right? What happened to me is very rare. I'm in a very high percentage, but it just, I think even money printing is the reason that it, so many more people are able to get rich now than ever. I'm not downplaying my work ethic and what I did, right? It's just like, dang. If even like someone like me can touch this type of money, it's because they're printing so much of it. The only way if they continue to print here, but this might make a right shoulder. We're going to watch this. It's going to tell us, right? In the next, basically that's going to take a couple months. October, November. And if no rate cut comes and things kind of look weary, we will backdrop and we might come like Bitcoin to the weekly or the 2-week 200 moving average. Thing is, it's not that far. It's been tried. That's another thing. This used to do this. The S&P used to do this, get really far from the 200. Have to have a massive crash. What's happening now is the 200 is kind of tracking price pretty well. So when we crash, if we get some buys, crash buys, pull, by the time we hit it, we could hit it not too far from where we are right now. It's kind of like how this one didn't even hit it. We got bought up before it even happened. Let's take a look at SKYAI. And if you want TA on any coin, super chat, or deep dive, let us know. I go over it every day here on the channel. SKYAI on Mix on Mesa. Ooh, it looks bearish on the weekly. So if you see the weekly, it looks like it's struggling on the weekly. Not a lot of information, but just to look at it, right? Well, look at that. The 5-day candle looked horrendous with that wick down. So in the last 5 days, we could tell it's been getting sold hard. Peaked up there at 38 and took a beat down. So it went from 17 to 38, basically doubled down. Came back to 17. All right, and it had a huge run up here in May up to 84. So this was its big run up. It went from 2 cents to 84, did basically a 40x. And now it's back down to that 200. And I feel like it's slumping down with Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to dump. I think a lot of coins are just because people thought Bitcoin was back. this is the rally, and they start kind of taking these really risky, trades on altcoins, and then altcoins get liquidated when Bitcoin dumps down. The liquidity gets zapped, and it's so big. It's not that much money to make it look big. It's not much money to shrink it, right? So those hypey green candles get everybody excited. They don't really think about the backing behind it. It's not huge. And, and I look at it, I have to speculate because one of these days it will move that way, and that will be the move. You see what I mean? Got this short here on the 5-minute time frame that should definitely be playing out over time. You can see WEEX running nice and smooth here on the channel. If you want to trade where we trade, hit that pinned comment and trade live on WEEX with the lifer, baby. Bang. We have a cool little thing going on here with the lifers. Let me show you. And it will be running for a bit too, so this is kind of cool. The Riviera Trade Rush, all right? Watch Sam Price live and win a luxury escape to the south of France. It ends in 14 days, all right? So you can hit the join button, right? Bang. Hit that link. Jump on in. I could even hit that pinned comment. But if you hit the link right there, jump on in and join now, right? Your trades will be kind of logged inside. All right. And business class flights plus 5-night luxury stay at Hotel Negresco in Nice. Yeah, in Nice. All right. And so there's a bunch of different things. First it's just a position airdrop. Gold one, then it's 1,000 silver, a Stanley Cup quencher, which is pretty nice. I mean, a Stanley quencher. Stanleys are nice. Hypercloud, like I guess cool little gaming. An Apple Watch. One of these Rimowa, essentials, fancy luggage. That's pretty awesome. The 50K. Imagine winning a 50K gold bar. I mean, that's nice. And our business class flights plus 5-night luxury stay. I mean, that's pretty nice. 5 nights in France. So, hey, just so, you remember for the rest of your life, I want a trip to France with the lifer, man. Watch Sam Price live and win a luxury escape to the south of France. 3 weeks. Always doing something interesting, coming up with creative ways to get back to community. Shout out to WEEX. We love you. We thank you guys. And again, and shout out to anyone that jumps on and hits that link and trades on my link. I greatly appreciate it. We do receive a commission when you jump on in. And I appreciate that more than you would ever know. Trade tirelessly, and it keeps the lights on at the studio, keeps things going. And it's awesome, man. Look at this shoulder. Look at that head and shoulder pattern. And right as, they're dumping that puppy to the downside, another live trade given here on the show. First one was given too, and then we're, to the trading group. You had to be in the trading group to get entry. Now you're, if you're with me. Finally, the biggest win of the trade right now too, as we're kind of running on in towards the end, right? Insane 3 weeks, 20 for 20 on my trades, 38,000 closed and secured. Thank you, Sam. That's crazy. You made 20 for 20 and made 38 grand. Well, just do me a favor and don't go 0 for 30 next month and lose 38,000. Take it easy. Take some time off. Then put 5 grand in an account. See if you can turn it into 15,000. You know what I mean? That will keep you away from the rest of do whatever makes you happy, but that's what I would be doing. Getting away from the chunk, playing with small amounts, and really bending my mind. Everyone's like, let me go for 30. I mean, it depends. You do whatever you want, Mike, but God bless you, man. That's amazing. And you're thanking me. Definitely was something you did with that brain of yours, brother. May God bless you, but I'm happy that you believe I had something to do with pushing you, getting you there, or maybe giving you some strategies, tips, and tricks, or educating you on technical analysis in a way you didn't see it before. So remember, this channel is TA. I'll never go over your portfolio. We don't talk about that stuff. And I'll never tell you what to buy or sell ever. If you ask me, where's my stop and all that, I can't tell you. I don't know what your situation, and I don't want to. I'm not into it. I'm a teacher. You're a student. That's the definition of our relationship here on Crypto Lifer and CryptoLifer.com. Sam, I work as a tour guide for a year. Paris and Dublin. Munich. Oh, yeah. Paris is fun. Oh, that's amazing. In Nice. Stay in Nice. Mr. Nice. Stay in Nice. Nice, France. Mr. Nice Guy. Remember that movie, Mr. Nice Guy? Oh, yeah. What a movie, yeah. So, I like SKYAI, but you got to buy the bottoms here and believe in it. A little sketchy. Trend has died down a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Below the 200 moving average on the 15. I'd have to see it gain some momentum. Seems like a lot of coins are kind of slumping around with Bitcoin slumpage today. It's got the market kind of droopy and dreary. Feels like a rainy day in the market, but it's sunny outside. So, don't get caught up. Make sure you touch some grass. Go for a bike ride today. Breathe in some air. And don't get caught up too much by this price action. It could take away your summer. I've had many a summer where I spent too much time glued to the charts, man. And, not enough time outside. We can, like I said, we can always trade with alerts. You could make I know a guy makes more money than most people. And he's not in the charts as like everybody else. He listens to the strategies. He uses the alert systems in the group. And he keeps himself busy outside, I moved all the games up PTC. Money is good for sure. Mom is coming to visit in the Philippines. I'm enjoying the time off. Sounds amazing. Best advice ever lately. I'll lose most from revenge trading after losses. Used by my crypto tonight. But going in for more. Used to be my kryptonite. Yeah. But for now on, going in for more after multiple winning trades. Exactly. Started weekly Bitcoin DCA hoping for the Lambo in 2030. My man. When Lambo. It's funny, once you get the Lambo, it never, I've had, soon, come November, I'll have it for a year, which is crazy, right? So I've been a Lambo owner for November, and I got it like November 11th, so hey, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 7 months, it's, right now I live away from it, it's stored nice and safe. It's kind of fun, it's in my other life, that's my other life. Right now I live a simple life, a quiet life in the woods, away from all those Lambo drivers. But I'll be back to Florida in the sunny sun and the gorgeous days, right? You're funny, Scottish Crypto, man. I love you, man. You're funny, bro. I remember a few months before I went to watch him speak at a conference. Oh, yeah. He used to speak. I remember my dad read the book, and then I saw the movie with my dad. Funny movie, man. You want that. You want the green wake up so we can plow down now to the downside. Starting to try to get that bull div, though. Digging in for some bullish divergence. But to me, I can still smell the bearish momentum. For me to believe we're changing guards, I'd have to see us break back above 61,650 and retest. So, boom. Bounce. You could say, okay, possibly doing this Adam and Eve. Okay, I'll buy it somewhat, but I'm still on track that we're dumping here. Look how long I've had to wait for a day's pay. Price action has been slow. Sammy, writing is not a skill of mine. Pattern recognition, on the other hand, is. It blows my mind that I've been able to apply that skill in trading. Shout out to Michael Dose, 5347. Michael, it's for us that can see things differently, man. It works so well for us pattern guys, right? People that can look for recognition I can hear recognition in voices. When someone does a voiceover, I know who it is. If it's a car commercial, I'm like, I know what actor it is immediately. All right. Someone said check ALLO, Allora. Wow, it's up huge, man. That's crazy. Looks like I was going over it somewhere here at 0.8. I was going over it when it wasn't even a penny. You can see this. I don't know when or how or why even. Stop this out though. Went as low as 5 cents. So this thing was 5 cents in February. It's now up 9x. Allora. Too far away from that daily. But it does look like it's making some type of ascending triangle here. Maybe onto something here. This thing may continue to cook one more time to 81 cents. I don't know what it is or why it's moving, but it does, I think it's worth an alert. I think it's definitely high risk. I don't know too much about it, so it's a bit high risk, It's my first encounter with the coin. I feel like it may be worth giving it to the trading group just to look at it. I think they should pay attention to it, but I don't, do some deep diving. You may be onto something, man. I thought you were kind of barking up the wrong tree there. I was like, what is this? But hey, I was open-minded to take a look. I got an alert on it now. I'll be paying attention. Thank you for ALLO, Allora. And then we'll take a look at ONDO. Somebody asked for ONDO here. Blinko, that good clap your heroes to another, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Let's take a look here. What's going on ONDO? I mean, very tight still. I'm not a fan. If Bitcoin struggles, ONDO will just right shoulder down, and it kind of has a head and shoulder here. You know, and the founder, let's kind of give it a, I'm bullish, in the long term, but I don't know. It looked good here. It was about to break out. Then I give it the benefit of the doubt in here. That's barely retesting that trend. Now it's got to be in this bull flag. And now it's even like 1, 2, 3 with a lower high. Yeah, there's a chance it just continues to consolidate and then you get a boom up. But even then, it goes from 34 to 56. And I think there's a lot of risk just to get that gain. I think there's some better things out there. But if you're long-term accumulating, I mean, a higher, possibly here, a higher low from here. You know what I mean? Definitely not the worst to buy the lows. I was into this coin for a long time. I held it. I gave it like almost 2 years of my life, and I kind of moved on. Like it was almost a fairy tale that never came true. I'd rather speculate on a smaller RWA coin and get maybe a higher return if we ever do get that entire narrative back. Yeah. And sending a TA in for super chats. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, guys. Everyone, I'm going to jump on out of here for the day. May God bless each and every one of you for kicking it. Finally getting that break to the downside. We're getting closer and closer to my target. Looks like we're going to hit it. It's been a painstakingly slow trade. It's one of the slowest 5-minute trades I've ever been in. But hey, it looks like I'm going to get my money. And I can continue to kind of move the stop loss a little bigger. I don't want to be too close, though. I put in enough effort into this trade long term. Shout out to anyone that kicked it with me throughout this entire stream. What a trade. And the cool thing is the trade was on the entire time. Oh, come on. Let me see that. My daughter just finished this puzzle. She did a 3D puzzle. What if I just... Right? Pretty cool, huh? First 3D puzzle ever. I've never, you know what I mean? Right? You never did one of these, right? Pretty fun, right? It's like a real puzzle. Was it hard, right? How long? 2 hours? Yeah, you started it when I went downstairs. She started when the show started. Took her about an hour. Yeah, about 2 hours. It's a missile to the sky. Pretty cool, Summer. You want to paint it with glue so no one breaks it? We'll see. Nice job, Summy. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you so much for jumping on in. We solidified another trade, another win here on the Crypto Lifer Trading Group and here on the live. And this live stream really is to benefit the lifers. It's for everyone to see and for all the public to watch. But it's really it's the Crypto Lifers live stream. It's their 2 hours with their mentor every single day. With nothing else, nothing in the way. I'm not doing 100 other things. It's just you guys and me, full-blown attention on bettering ourselves, talking about positive energy, keeping the energy up, and live trading, right? And if we can do that every single day, then we won. So may God bless you all. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Inner Circle Lifers too, all the awesome people. Shout out to the Blue Crew. Shout out to everyone that jumps on in. If you want to jump on into anything I have links to, please. We even give funding. If you'll need funding here at Bitfunded, you can open up a new challenge today and jump on in with like my short. Could have been one of the trades that you win on today with the short. Now that we lost 61,000, send it down, Bitcoin. And again, we're just trusting in the liquidity that's given to us here by BOOKMAP. And it goes to the closest red. I mean, that red is screaming there at 60,100 now. So we've got this, folks. We're just trading exactly the way we should be. The 21's below the 200. All right, we would have traded it long if it was this way. And the 21 was above the 200 in the trend. We're just trading the trend. We're using the moving averages to teach us the trend. And then we're using wicks and candle bodies to put the stop losses. We're using supportive resistance, the VRVP, to find out where that main area of liquidity is. And we taught you a bunch of different things today. I hope you had fun. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Another awesome day of educational streaming. It doesn't get bored for me. It never gets old to teach what you know. while you're making money. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And remember, the key to all of this, the key to everything is to give your knowledge away when you learn it and help others. And the secret to success is getting started. You got to start somewhere. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Thank you.